Satnam and Namaste. Thank you for gathering here this evening. If you're new here, welcome. I would love to share with you a divination from Alana Fairchild's Rumi Oracle deck. I felt the desire to pull from Rumi because he always has an extensive and verbally beautiful message to share, and I feel like Alana always encapsulates in essence what he is sharing in another beautiful passage that we always read after his words. So today, the divination that I have pulled for us is number 16, From Nothing to Everything, which I think is relevant for a lot of us right now, all the people that I've been encountering personally and myself personally. So I hope this message resonates with you. Oh, my friend, if you are longing to be written on, become a blank page. Have you been shedding your skins, your layers, your certainties? Gone are fixed identities and definite opinions. Keep casting those shackles aside, even if you fear you are releasing too much, and then perhaps you shall cease to exist. You shall only cease to exist as you have known yourself to be thus far. Another emanation of you awaits, blazing angel. Something more beautiful and true. You are here at the pruning stage, like a gardener for the soul. Shall the garden spring back to life, or will the enthusiastic denuding process be rather too much and unintentionally kill off the garden altogether? Fear not. Your soul is made of hardy stuff. It can handle a lot of culling and will shine even brighter for it. There is a greater story to be impressed upon your essence than the one that you are currently dreaming up. Though you are brilliant, no doubt about it, my angel of love, there is one who is even more so. The imagination of this great writer is beyond our comprehension. The stories that pour forth from that cosmic poet in every moment are so rich they inspire the creation of art and music. One such story is especially created for you. Yes, you, with a starring role and all the best supporting cast. You will gasp in wonder, awe, glee, and delight when you hear it. It is a great romance, a great adventure, with an ending truly spectacular and divine. Would you wish to hear it? Become attentive now. Put your own tales aside, as dramatic as they may seem, now, and prepare to be entranced by the greater storyteller, the living poet of love, as you are entranced in a tale of your unfolding divine destiny. So Rumi's words. There are moments on the path of love that seem to focus on letting go of identities, of knowledge and certainty, of opinion, and even attempts at control. We may feel as though we are being stripped back to our core, and even then perhaps further still. We may wonder if we can bear it. What shall, if at all, remain intact through these rigors? We may feel challenged every time we attempt to become something great, as though we are blocked by circumstances beyond our control. Again and again, it is as though a greater hand smacks our wrist the moment we try to take hold of something firmly, someone, anything that brings us certainty or inner stability. Such are the rigors at an advanced stage on the path. We meet this challenge when our soul is ready for it. Why must it be thus? This is a sage question indeed. When we are asked to dispense with our story, the interpretations we have given to our life experiences over the years, we may not hear the request at first. We may vaguely note it, but not recognize the divine source asking this of us, and so we do not give such an inclination due accord. We may persist with spinning our own tales instead. Oh, our mind may fancy itself to be a great wrangler of the word, impressed with its own judgments and declarations, yet in the light of a comparison with the divine tale for our soul, all our fancy shall pass away, reveal as so very frail, like clouds dissipating in the sky. Perhaps we are graced with realization there is so much more. Or perhaps we still don't get the hint and move into struggle as we try to enact what we think our story should be. We may hit obstacle after obstacle and create even more terror in our storytelling, that life is such pain, a struggle, that success may not be for us, that we are forgotten or unheard. Yet we could equally choose to wonder if obstacle after obstacle, closed door after closed door, is just a prompt for us to look for the open window to climb through. And if so, instead of seeking to impose our small story upon the great truth, we can live the truth of our divine destiny. Then something magical happens. We participate through presence along with the unfolding story of our soul journey. We open up to whatever is asked of us, present to us, happening through us, as we choose each day to come alive as much as we can. Then, as if by magic, there is something else that occurs. That would be grace. Real, rich, dripping with goodness and sustenance, grace. This is the sacred blessing that enables us to pay attention to opening doors rather than the closing ones, the divine assistant that lets us know that our life is proceeding according to a greater intelligence and plan. Once we stop thinking quite so much and live day to day, we will be blessed with the realization that our individual life story is so much more extraordinary and perfect than anything we could have summoned, even with our wildest imagination. This oracle comes with guidance for you. You are being asked to let go, to receive, to become empty, to be filled. This may mean letting go of attachment to a lover so you can receive genuine love. It may be of no longer holding on to a fantasy of your dream job, but of being guided into your most soulful and successful vocation. It may mean letting go of wishes for your body or health to be other than it is, so you can simply get on with living each day, taking steps into wellness without thinking beyond one day at a time. It is in the divine paradox that we are asked to surrender a story or fantasy. It is because reality is knocking at our door, more often than not, with the delivery of what we've been fascinating about, but in the best of ways. The human experience of this paradox is that you may feel you are giving up hope, that your fantasy is dying. It may be very painful and bring you much grief. But all that is dying is your attachment and opinion about how it must be. This needs to happen so you can stop dreaming and start living it. This is what's happening for you now. Do not fear any part of your process. Embrace it without expectation, with trust in your heart that the divine is simply guiding you from fantasy into fulfillment. In the sacred honoring ritual for this particular reading, place your hands in prayer pose and bow your head and repeat out loud as follows. I choose to trust in the great genius unfolding in my life. I give thanks for the blessings of grace now flowing into my heart. I have no need to know. I trust in the perfection of my being unfolding with innate intelligence and wisdom. Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, holds me in his protection, and I accept my destiny with a peaceful and trusting heart. Please help me to surrender the stories, attachments, fantasies, and fears that have held me back from living my heart's desires fully. I now choose unconditional trust in the loving genius of life to lead me into my fulfilled destiny now. So be it. And you've completed the sacred honoring ritual for number 16, from nothing to everything. I think this is a really powerfully worded reading, and I hope that it resonates with you to focus on today, for the rest of the week, or honestly, however you so desire. I feel like with this new moon and all this Pisces energy, we've all been really being faced with challenges that we either never saw coming, never thought we would have to deal with, and instead of being flitting or quick and like like quick overreaction or, just kind of in your face reaction. I feel like for the first time, at least for me personally, noticing with a Pisces moon, that all these things have absolutely shown their reasoning for why we've experienced this recent thing. And I mean, since the new moon, like it's been a few weeks before the new moon and, this week after the new moon. And just so many people that I've encountered that would never say anything about the moon have been like, is something going on? Like, what's going on celestially? Like, what's going on planetary wise? Like, what is happening? A, B, C, D, I've had to go through, or I've had to experience, or I've been faced with. So it's people that I've seen all over the place that are really feeling these energies. And I feel like this is such a beautiful reading to accept all the stuff that's been coming at all of us and really working through it when it really feels like door closing after door closing after door closing. And every time you're like, yes, there it is, and I've got it. And you think you have it, and then it's just like sand is just through your fingers and you've got nothing. Or it's just not that you don't have nothing, but it's just not at all how you might have perceived something or really intended something or tried to manifest something. And sometimes I feel like within these last 3 weeks, it's been almost like a feeling of futility. Like, what are we doing this for? And that's with me personally and all these people that I've encountered recently. And I feel like this is such a beautiful reading because the purpose is to let go of all of these expectations and these attachments, all these things that we might perceive that we should have, or, all these different things that we're working for. Maybe we should look for the open window instead of staring at all these closed doors in our faces. So I hope that this message resonates with you to find those open windows and to crawl through them or walk through them or however you need to, and to continue to visualize what we are striving for, what we would like to share, to still hold our intentions, even though sometimes it might feel futile. It doesn't mean that we have to give up. It means we have to be more persistent and to really keep going, even when times seem tough. That's the most important time to really grasp our inner self and just take care of ourselves. Really listen to what we all need from the inside. Always listen to your gut. That's super clear. That's a super clear message from this new moon, is just listen to your gut. If there's even an inkling or something where you're just a fleeting thought and it's just like, maybe that's not a good idea, or maybe I shouldn't talk to that person, or maybe I shouldn't do this act, or whatever it is, whatever it may be, listen to your instinct. Your first initial instinct is most always correct and what's best for you. And it's okay to release the attachment and do what's best for you. I think it's greatly important, especially in times like now. And I feel like when we follow what's best for us, we actually are helping everybody else around us, even if it feels a little bit selfish, or whatever feelings you might personally feel. It's okay to feel, it's good to feel all the feelings that we feel, whether they be positive or negative. Life is certainly not positive all the time. I feel like that's a common misconception of people that see, certain adventures people are having, whatever's happening in somebody's life that might seem in a brighter light. There's a lot of masks in social media, and our world is so technical today. Like, there's so much technology that's involved, and it's like the more I seem to involve myself with human beings and really experiencing people through reality instead of some sub-reality. And I know I'm saying this as I'm being recorded, but this is the best way to send these gathering messages out, because one by one is very slow. But I'm saying just relish in the reality of things and just look for those open windows. Look for these opportunities that are presenting themselves. Sometimes they are not how you might think they would present themselves to you, but they're wonderful opportunities to just take and see what you can do with it. I feel like a very recurring theme that's been happening these last few weeks is just try it. If it doesn't work, change it. But if you don't try it, there's a lot of what ifs and like, what about, like, maybe if I had done this, maybe if I had done it that way. Just give it your best. See where it goes. If that best doesn't work, then it wasn't for you, and move on to the next thing. It might take a lot of closed doors. It might not take a lot of closed doors. Everybody has their own unique path and walk, and we all have a choice to either be stuck looking at a closed door or to allow ourselves to start seeing the open doors. So I think this was beautifully worded here, and I hope that this is digestible for everybody to take what they need from this particular divination. And I send you in most unconditional love and my highest vibrations of light. And until next week, be well.